Hello everyone, a very warm welcome to each one of you for the virtual session of Science Children. So I hope you all have enjoyed your Diwali break. Hopefully you all have celebrated Diwali very well. So now it's a time to come back to work. Let us begin and see what are we going to have in this virtual session of science. Here we are going to continue with the chapter The Living Organisms and Their Surroundings. I hope you all have taken down all the important points discussed before Diwali break for this chapter. So here we have part 5 of the chapter, and the earlier part I hope you all have taken down in your notebook. So continue to write, take down all the important points discussed as you normally do. That is a normal practice, as you all know. So let us begin with the part 5 of the chapter, The Living Organisms and Their Surroundings. What are we learning today? Let us see the characteristics of living organism. Why the living organism, being so called living organism, why they are living? How are they categorized as living things? What makes them living? That is the characteristic of living organisms. So let us see what are the very important characteristics of living organisms here. You have to take down all these points in your notebook, children. So they require food to grow and carry out life processes. As you all know, we require food energy to do work, to survive. All the cellular activities takes place with the help of energy, which is provided by the food that we eat. So all the living organisms require food for their survival. They grow in size. As you see, plants and tiny organisms, they grow in size. We all grow in size. That is one of the very important characteristics of living organisms. All living organisms breathe and respire. That is the process of generating energy. So every living organism, including plants, all tiny creatures, all small unicellular organisms, they all respire and they do breathing process. So these are the two important processes done by the living organism, breathing and respiration. Respiration is the process of generating energy, that is from food, by breaking down of food, whereas breathing is inhaling oxygen and exhaling carbon dioxide. So all this process is done by living organism. Next point, they respond to stimuli. That means any change in the environment, you will respond to that. If you have weather is cold, so you like to wear sweaters, you like to wear shawls, you like to be cozy, because that is your response. Body responds to the stimulus, that is the change in the environment. So all the living organism, even a minor change in the environment, the living organism will definitely respond. So if you are pricked by a pin, then your response, you immediate response you give, because there is a change, you feel the change. So that response which you give, that is the stimuli. So every living organism show this change according to the changes in the environment. They carry out reproduction, so that produces next generation, and excretion, that is elimination of waste from the body. So every living organism, for them to sustain their life, their generation on earth, they have to reproduce, otherwise the living organism will get extinct one fine day. So every living organism have to reproduce of their offspring, because they have to survive, they have to remain, show their existence on earth. And every living organism do excretion, that means whatever food they eat, the extra, the unwanted waste is eliminated from the body, which is very toxic. So reproduction and excretion is also very important for the living organism, as you all know. The elimination of waste is extremely important, otherwise there will be collection of waste, toxic waste in the body. And movement is shown by living organism. Your living organism move from one place to another, except plants and trees, they remain confined to one particular place, but they show movement during breeze. but they will not show locomotion. That means they will not move from one place to another, but they are living organism. Plants are also living because they show all the very important characteristics shown by living organisms. I hope these points are clear. Please take this down in your notebook. Now, let us see, plants are living things, but they do not appear to move like a dog or a pigeon. On the other hand, a car or a bus can move, yet we consider them as non-living. These are some important pointers. You have to take it down, which explains where some non-living things will show movement like cars and bus, but they are non-living. Just because they show movement, they will not be considered as living, because they will not show all the other important characteristics like reproduction, excretion, respiration and all that. Plants, they do not move, yet they are living. And there are certain characteristics that differentiate living from non-living. So as you all know, the properties, the characteristics of the living organism, which will help you to understand the difference between the living and the non-living things. I hope this is very clear. Living beings are made up of cells. Please take down all these important points. Living beings obtain and use energy. Living beings grow and develop. Living beings reproduce. As I told you, living beings adapt to their surrounding. Whatever surrounding is given to them, whatever environment is given to them, they will adapt themselves to that given environment. Otherwise, they won't be able to survive. So you have seen different adaptation of the animals, like camels shows adaptation in desert region, where polar bear will survive in a very cold region. So they have to adapt themselves in the given environment, otherwise they will not be able to survive. Living beings respond to their environment or stimuli. So whatever changes happen in the environment, as I told you, they will respond to it. They will respond to the changes in the environment, and this is one of the very important characteristic of the living things. I hope you all are making all these points in your notebook. These are all included in the characteristics of living organism. Under the same heading, you can continue to write all these points. So now just have a look at this chart over here, where it will show you the important characteristic being highlighted here. Just have a look at this characteristic of living things. Different levels of organization, made up of cells, response to the environment, grow and develop, obtain and uses energy, and they reproduce. And different level of organization means there are unicellular organism made up of single cells, multicellular organisms made up of multiple cells, and the muscles, the tissues, the cells will differ. That different type of cells organization is seen in different living organisms. Just have a look at this. This is just a briefing of what all we have done already. We have taken on all the pointers. It is just a briefing of what we have already done. Just have a look at this. Then let's explore the important characteristic of living organisms one by one. So let us see the important characteristic of the living organism in detail. First of all, we will see nutrition. The process by which animals obtain food and utilize it for all the activities is called as nutrition. So as you all know, all living organisms require food which give them nutrients. For them to survive, all the cells in the body requires nutrients, and without nutrients the cell will die, and when the cells will die, the organism will not be able to survive. So the nutrition is obtained from the food, and every organisms require nutrition for obtaining energy. So nutrition, that means all the nutrition includes carbohydrate, proteins, fat, minerals, vitamins and all that is all required by the living organism. Growth. Next, we will see growth. All living organisms grow and exhibit growth in different ways. So every living organism have their own pace of growth. Human being, the growth is very slow. The gradual growth you must have seen in your day-to-day life. You can observe a child growing very slowly, whereas plants, you can see the growth is comparatively faster. So every living organism have their own pace of growth, and their body cells divide and grow, and thus overall growth is attained. So as the living organism grow, the cells will divide into multiple times, and that will form tissues, and that will form muscles, and that will actually show the growth, that will show the attainment of the growth. I hope you are writing all this point. Respiration is necessary for all living organism. As you all know, it is the breaking down of food into energy, carbon dioxide and water vapor. And it is through respiration that the body finally obtain energy from the food it takes. So some animals may have different mechanism for the exchange of gases, which is a part of the respiration process. So when you breathe in oxygen and you breathe out carbon dioxide, when you breathe in oxygen, that oxygen goes to the cells in the body where the glucose is broken down into energy, and there the energy is utilized by the cells to perform various cellular activities. Here you have example of earthworms. They breathe through their skin, as you all know, and fish, they breathe through gills by using dissolved oxygen in water. So different organism will breathe differently, will have respiration process, and different organs given by the nature to them for the process of breathing. So we have lungs for the process of breathing in and breathing out. So fishes have gills, earthworm has skin, frogs have moist skin on land. When they are on land, they breathe through moist skin, and when they are in water, they breathe with the moist skin, and on land they breathe with the lungs actually. So they are amphibian, they live on land as well as in water. So in water they breathe through skin, and on land they require lungs. So both the provision is there, that's why they are called as amphibian. Whereas in human, we respire by breathing in oxygen and breathing out carbon dioxide. This is how respiration process takes place in various living organism, and it is a must process, is a very important process. Response to stimulus. Let us see how living organism show response to stimulus. Changes in surrounding that makes us respond to them are called stimuli. So whatever change happening in the environment is actually the stimuli given by the environment, and accordingly the living organism will respond to it. All living beings react to changes in their surrounding. You all know that. And increase in response to increased temperature in summer, what we do, we use fans to cool our homes. This is actually the response to the increase in temperature. Similarly, decrease in temperature, we try to be cozy, we try to keep heater at home, we wear woolen clothes. So that is a response to the stimuli, that is the change in the environment. So this is all example of the response to the stimulus, which is shown by the living organism. So here we come to an end of the session, children. I hope the concepts are very clear. Please take down all the important points discussed, or just a gentle reminder for you to keep your notebook updated. Thank you, children, and have a great day.